Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Motorgraph World channel. My name is Mari. Today I'm back with the 2023 Niro Electric. Let's see what design changes have been made and how it drives on the road. So now let's take a first look at the design features. In fact, the new Niro Electric hasn't really changed much apart from its front face. The first thing that you notice is that this front part has become much modern and a bit more aggressive. One other thing is that you have the charging socket in front, in the middle here. And as you can see, it's easy to pull out and then you push back again when you want to have it closed. We've popped open the hood, and just like the Ioniq 5, this also has a frunk. And let's open it up to see. It's not that big, but you can still store a couple of clothing items or whatever, shoes that you need to store. It's just enough to be able to act like a small luggage compartment. So now I'm inside the car in the driver's seat, and it's actually very nice inside. The overall Kia design aesthetic is also applied to the Niro Electric. So this is the petrol interior. This color is a darker green / indigo navy. So it's a combination of those two colors. We do have the relaxation seat within this car, but only on the front passenger seat, not the driver's. Inside, you have quite good line of sight. It's quite refreshing because I feel that this height of the window is relatively taller. So you have clean line of sight. The steering wheel, I feel, is a little bit light. We'll have to test that out on the road. I do feel that the seat position is slightly higher up compared to the hybrid version that we saw. It is an EV, so there has to be a little bit of an adjustment to that. The overall comfort of the seats is quite nice. It has a lot of cushion in the middle as well as the back. It's very comfortable. As for the storage space, you have the cup holder, you have the center console compartment here, and you also have a relatively large space for your keys and phone charging space. You also have the glove box, which is also a drop-down version. Some of the newer models in the Hyundai and Kia lineup have that drawer effect, but this one is the generic glove box. Otherwise, all of the options, all of the design features are quite modern and futuristic, and it definitely is a slight upgrade to the previous version. Once again, the seats are very comfortable. There's a lot of cushion on the seats. The seats have two stages of a recline function, so you have two different angles. But one thing that is slightly inconvenient is that a lot of the SUVs usually have their seat controls on the side of the seats. However, for this one, you only have the control, which is pull lever, that you have to use. And while you're sitting on the seats, it's very difficult to actually adjust the recline. And on the center here, you also have the V2L, the vehicle to load function. So if you do need to use the electricity of the car, then you can do so here. Also, the center seat is very comfortable. There's not much of a difference in the seat structure, so it's very comfortable to sit in, and there's no center tunnel. Of course, it's an EV, so it's you have a lot of room for your feet as well. As for the overall space of the second row seats, it's very spacious. As for your leg room, of course, the driver's seat is set to my driving position, but still, you have more than enough space for your leg room. And the seats as well. These are slim seats, which are slightly slimmer or narrower compared to the generic versions. So that will actually give you even more space within the car. So now we're out on the road and we're testing the vehicle. It's an EV, EV, so it should be very quiet, as if you're not riding anything. But I hear a lot of what's going on outside, which means that there's not much of that insulation going on. And I do hear a lot of wind noise, the sounds it picks up from the road compared to the bigger or the more representative EVs. Let's test it out while we're out on the road. Once you step on the gas and try to go faster than 100 kilometers per hour. It's a very light car, and you can actually feel it even when you're driving, because personally don't feel too protected. I feel that with just one flick of a finger, the car will kind of go flying. Just as I had imagined, because it wasn't able to block out a lot of the sounds while it was on the urban roads. If you go faster, right now we're pressing up ahead, and the wind sound is extremely irritating because it's very loud. But having said that, you'll probably be using the Niro for commuting within the city limits on relatively lower speed. So it might not be that much of a problem for commuters. But oh my gosh, right now it's really loud. How it drives on the road is it has a lower center of gravity, so definitely compared to the previous SUV that we tested, the Palisade, it's much more stable and it has better handling. One thing I do think could be a preference issue, the steering wheel is very light. So on sports mode, the steering wheel automatically becomes a little bit more stiff. And even so, it's quite light, but still there is a slight change. But overall, with the driving, the acceleration, the cornering, it's quite swift and smooth. The maximum output for this car is 150 kilowatts. When we first started off, we had a clean slate on the mileage. We started off with 0. At the moment, you can see that it is 6.6 kilometers per kilowatt hour. Officially, this car has 5.3. So it's actually performing better than its official record. And it's also known to have a quite bad mileage out on the highway with about 4.8 kilometers per kilowatt hour. But in fact, I was driving as I usually do, but I have 6.6 kilometers per kilowatt hour. And I don't have the best kind of driving skills with the best mileage output, but in fact, this one isn't so bad. Once you have a full charged vehicle, this Niro has 401 kilometers for its full driving range. That's based on Korean standards. I did hear that WLTP-wise, it's a little bit higher, but for Korean standards, it's 401 kilometers. So what did you think about our test drive as well as the revamped face of the Niro EV? I personally give 100% for the face, but maybe about 50 to 60% on the drive because of the sound. Other than that, I do like how it has been revamped and remodeled. So please tell us your comments down below and remember to hit subscribe. See you next time.